Good morning, everyone. I'm Nav. I'll be your host for this week's HeyGen product demo. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to kick things off with a couple of slides just to cover a bit of a platform overview, give you a sense of some of the use cases for HeyGen before we jump right into the platform for our product demo. I'm going to go ahead and get things kicked off, but we'll cover a couple of housekeeping items as we get started. I'm going to save some time to go through any specific questions folks reviewing or joining us want to submit and share, and we can talk through those specific points of interest. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get things kicked off here on my side. Feel free to drop questions in the chat and I'll take a look as we jump through the demo, but we're going to kick things off with an overview of what is HeyGen. We'll talk a bit about HeyGen's commercial offering and HeyGen Enterprise. We'll cover a product demo and an overview of the different parts of our platform, ranging from custom avatar creation, editing in our AI studio, video translation, and we'll touch briefly on interactive avatar, which is where you can actually have a conversation with a video avatar connected to a knowledge base and an LLM. And then at the end, we'll save time to go through any questions that are submitted. Well, what is HeyGen? It's a leading AI-powered video platform that enables businesses to tell their story. You can create, translate, transform video content faster and more reliably than ever before, going from a script and text to a video and a talking person. So what is HeyGen really solving? You know, the old way of producing these videos was slow, expensive, and cumbersome. You would go from scripting to casting to scouting to production to post-production, localization, and any reshoots. Now with HeyGen, really we're introducing a whole new way of generating video content. You can go from a script to generation in a matter of minutes. So we're really condensing this down, making this a lot simpler to really convey your message, convey your story in a video format that wasn't as accessible previously. So we work with major brands. You can see a quote from HubSpot CMO Kip Bodner here. The applications for AI video are very immense, and we'll cover some of the interesting ones that we're seeing before we jump into the demo across our customer base. With AI video generation, it really makes it so that way you can really drive efficiency in your production cycles, meaning faster production times, global reach. You can translate your content, which means more scalability. And for change management, it also introduces an aspect of cost savings. So let's say you're creating a training program and compliance and regulations change, you need to go and update your content. Now, instead of going through and reshooting all your videos, all you have to do is go back, edit your draft, generate a new video, and keeping your library up to date as business needs and requirements change. So before we go too far along, I wanted to kind of call out, if you're joining us from a stream, you can also head over to community.heygen.com. Join us for a viewing experience there to be able to submit your questions through the top right corner under the Q&A component. So make sure you do that. I'll be checking as we go through this presentation. And good morning, everyone. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Miras, and everyone else joining us from all over the world. I'll cover your questions and we'll kind of take things as we go along, but happy to cover an overview and go specific to anything that pops up. So custom avatar creation is one of the core pieces of HeyGen's platform that really enables video storytelling. And we'll talk about some of the different avatar technologies that we have. I'm particularly excited about, our latest release with Avatar 4, but there's a lot of ways you can get started. We'll cover the new AI editing studio. We just did a great keynote covering some of the greatest updates that are coming to this, including gesture control, voice director, voice mirroring. And really, these are controls that really help content creators bring their story to life. So we'll cover some of these details through our demo today. Translating videos, we'll spend a little bit of time on this. And same with interactive avatar. These are other ways that you can use HeyGen's platform to convey your story. So before we go too far, I wanted to call out, we also have a lot of great resources over at community.heygen.com. You can find getting started guides, our HeyGen Academy, other webinars like this one. We're going to start introducing new workshops that are a bit more use case oriented. So welcome everyone to check this out. You can participate in our forum or some of the different use case groups or persona groups that we have in our community to find other like-minded content creators on their AI video creation journey. Uh, HeyGen avatars. Let's get started with a quick overview before we jump into the platform and take a look at what they entail. So HeyGen makes it super simple to create your first avatar in just a matter of minutes. You can create a hyper-realistic avatar, which is trained on about 2 minutes of video footage. We have custom photo avatar models, which are trained on 10 to 15 photos, but we'll actually spend more time today on Avatar 4, which is the latest avatar technology where you can go from one photo to a video, adding motion, adding movements. So we make this, even easier to get started now than it was some time ago. And finally, if you want a synthetic persona representing you in your videos, you can also create an avatar by prompting. And we have a couple of examples in our library of just how to do this. But these are just some of the different ways that you can tell your story using HeyGen. Now, a few different use cases that I've seen across our customer base, some of the most popular ones we see is social media content, whether it's UGC style or, news style content for social media platforms like X, like Instagram, like YouTube Shorts, like YouTube and TikTok. So this is a really popular format we've seen emerging that's very conducive to HeyGen to kind of create quick bite-sized clips. We also have an instant highlights feature that really helps you take longer form content and condense it down for social media type of applications. We'll touch a little bit on, training content, videos, and courses, and how you might create those in our AI studio. But there's a whole lot more that HeyGen helps folks accomplish. We can even send out personalized video event invites, and we'll show you a couple of examples of what those might look like as we jump into the product demo itself. But this is just to give you a sense of some of the possibilities out there. I don't think this is an exhaustive list, but some of the interesting ways that we see customers leveraging HeyGen's platform to up-level their storytelling. So a few customer examples to kind of ground you in context before we jump into the product demo. So what are some of the different ways businesses apply HeyGen? Well, Trivago, a global travel company, is using HeyGen to actually localize its ads. So we see HeyGen helping drive significant cost savings as they want to take a spot that they produced for one market and take it to other markets that they go and have business in. So here you see an example, and you can actually watch this on our website under our customer stories, of Trivago's ad being translated to French. They've also translated it to other languages like German to help them go to market in over 30 different markets. And they've seen significant cost savings as a result of this process. The next one that I'll call out is Sibelco. Their learning and development team is, transforming global learning. So they're really saving significantly per minute of video because whenever requirements change, whenever there's a new compliance need, rather than having to go through and reshoot, change manage a whole library of training videos, you can now go back and simply edit a script, regenerate them, and have refreshed content library that's up to your business needs. So really, really powerful example, but we see other global organizations like Komatsu, like Workday, like Pearson, leveraging similar benefits by using HeyGen's platform at a global scale. So, a lot of great stories on our website at heygen.com. We won't cover all of them today, but the last one I'll kind of touch on quickly is Tomorrow.io is a startup that's scaling their marketing engine using HeyGen. So they have a studio avatar of their CMO, Dan, and they're able to use him to create much more content for social posts than they would be able to otherwise. So rather than having to get time to film with Dan for every spot they want to produce, they're able to rapidly prototype and keep their content and social calendars full with content that's highly relevant and personalized to their audience in a way that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to get the time or resourcing to create. So just a few examples that I wanted to share before we jump right in. I hope these inspire you and, excited to jump right into the product overview. So again, please make sure to send any questions you have through the chat, and I'll be checking them as we go along through this. But when you're going to heygen.com, anyone can sign up for free. You'll end up in a space that might have, less videos when you're just getting started. But I've created a couple of demo contents for us to go through. And, I'm actually going to get started with a few different areas of the platform. First, we'll talk about avatars. So you can see here I have, a hyper-realistic avatar, and then we have a couple of examples of studio avatars. Studio avatars are more suited to our enterprise plan. That's when you're going into a studio and filming against a green screen. So you can see these are all in 4K, but we can get similar and really good quality out of just a hyper realistic avatar with HeyGen's AI video generation technology. When you're creating a hyper realistic avatar, we make it really simple to get started. But once you have one, you can actually add looks by creating more videos or adding more photos to create different variations of your digital twin, as you can see here. So when you're first getting started, you can create a new avatar. You would start with a set of instructions that you can go through. That takes about 2 to 3 minutes to record the first video content. Really, the content that you're filming is really critical to what the avatar output will be. It varies less what plan you're on, but more how good your training footage is to the avatar quality that customers end up having and representing. And we'll show you some examples of our agency partners who are really pushing this to the limits. But HeyGen's platform makes it really simple to get started, but it really comes down to the fine tuning and nuances of what you're trying to create. So the other piece that we're going to get started with today is photo to video with Avatar 4. So for this, you just need a photo to get started. So you can take a photo like one of our sample ones here. I'm actually going to grab one from my LinkedIn profile and see how that does for today's presentation. So I'm going to go to my LinkedIn profile. I'm going to go ahead and just save this image as a test photo. And now I'm going to jump back over to HeyGen. And I'm going to use that photo to get started to create my first video. So you'll see here, you can quickly upload your photo. You can change the aspect ratio. So here we'll use portrait mode. And then you can type your script. You can also have us surprise you. I am going to go for a surprise. I don't know exactly what this is going to entail. We can preview it in just a second, but I'm kind of curious to just see. We can also add custom motion optionally. If we want to have gestures. But since this photo is more of a headshot, I'm going to kind of leave this blank and see what we come up with. Finally, we let you choose, final output options, 720p or 1080p. For this demo, I'll go ahead and just use 1080p, and we can make it more expressive. But we give you a couple of different controls here when you're just getting started. So we're going to just use this script, this voice. If I didn't want to do this, I could type in my own and then select my own voice. In the voices library, HeyGen makes it very, very simple. If you have 11 Labs Pro account, for example, you can integrate with a third-party voice by just pasting your API key for 11 Labs, and then we'll let you select those voices and leverage them for your video creation. So here, I'm just going to use a voice that I had already recorded and created. So this is my voice clone, I believe, using OpenAI. Welcome to today's product demo. I'm excited to see the different types of videos that you all will create and share in our community after this session. Tag me. I want to check them out too. So this will be kind of our script, and we can basically from here just generate a video. So we're going to try this out. And you know what? I'm running into an issue. It might just be my voice. So what I'll do is I'll switch it to kind of a standard one and generate the video with that. So we make it pretty quick and easy. So this is going to generate for some time now. We'll see this and check back in on this in just a moment once it's done processing. The other area of the platform that I wanted to call out that's particularly helpful when you're just getting started and you're new to the platform, we have a library of templates, and templates are very powerful. So you can start with a template that HeyGen's already created. So here, for example, we have a social template. If I wanted to use this one, I can kind of quickly press that button and it jumps me right into the studio with, all the different aspects here ready to go for me to edit it. So here we'll start off just by calling this test demo video. And there's a few things that I want to orient you towards when you're in HeyGen's AI studio. So first, we have this concept of a brand kit and a brand glossary. Brand is a very powerful tool for HeyGen for really maintaining consistency as you scale your production content. So let's say you're OpenAI, you can upload your logo, your brand colors. You can have your different fonts, different video or image assets that you would want to be able to use in your videos. And then we make it very powerful to be able to kind of shuffle these around, and you can see different aspects of the scenes are adjusting to kind of map to these colors based on what I'm shuffling here. But I can also actually just select them if I wanted to apply them in different places. So we make it very, very quick to get started. So the next thing that I wanted to kind of call out was, we have a few different things that make the avatars themselves pretty powerful in these scenes. So we're going to actually use any in this scene, but I wanted to kind of call out when you're choosing an avatar, you can click them to select them. You can look at the different looks that are available for the same avatar. If you wanted to replace them, you can. So if I wanted to pull in one of my avatars, it'd be as simple as me going in here and selecting one like so. So now you can see it's Annie's voice, my avatar. If I wanted to switch this, we make it very easy to do just that in HeyGen. So now we can do a quick preview of the scene. A couple of things that I'll call out here. We also let you animate in an avatar if you'd like, so you can select that here or out at the end of the scene. So we have a few different controls. The other piece that you can do is you can adjust the framing of the avatar. So instead of having it be kind of a full body shot, I can make it a close-up or a circle. So HeyGen's platform is pretty flexible to kind of meet the needs of the type of story that I'm trying to tell. So that's a little bit about HeyGen and using it for creating your first avatar and scene. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to use a stock voice just to demonstrate a concept here. So we're going to actually use one of Annie's voices, and then I'm going to show you how Voice Director works. So when I first play this scene,
great things begin with a single step and a bold vision.
We can hear that that's Annie's voice. Now I want to use Voice Director to add some inflections to Annie's voice. And you know what? I'll actually change this back to Annie's avatar so we can see Annie presenting this. So this is Annie. And
great things begin with a single step and a bold vision. What you imagine today could shape everything tomorrow.
But let's say that delivery doesn't quite meet my need. So I can use Voice Director, and we can basically either do voice mirroring or imply emphasis for how do we want the voice to sound in this specific scene. So with Voice Director first, we're going to do a preview. This was excited.
Great things begin with a single step and a bold vision. What you imagine today could shape everything tomorrow.
That's better. That was more the energy that I was hoping for and anticipating. But let's say it's not quite right. I can also record my own using voice mirroring to really precisely control this. So I'm going to do that right now. Great things begin with a single step and a bold vision. What you imagine today could shape everything tomorrow. Let's see how that sounds. So now we'll add the audio from that recording. And bear with me for a moment as this gets added to this specific scene. Now with voice mirroring, you can actually play this.
Great things begin with a single step and a bold vision. What you imagine today could shape everything tomorrow.
So this now lets Annie match my inflections, my delivery, all with Annie's voice. So we give you a lot of control here to get your scene exactly right as you intend to have it. So that's, a quick preview of HeyGen's platform. The other thing that I'll call out here is, when you're actually previewing it from the timeline,
great things begin with a single step.
The lip sync does not happen until you actually generate the video. So in the previews, you're just getting the audio preview. You'll get elements animating across the screen, but that's one thing that I'll call out if you're brand new and just getting started. Don't be surprised. The lip sync won't happen until you actually generate your video, and that's just kind of one nuance that might throw you off. The other things that I'll call out quickly here in the AI Studio before we jump to other aspects of the platform is you can add captions, you can change the background if you like. We can let you add different media. We have integration with Getty and a number of other libraries that let you pull in different images, videos, or different types of music to help you tell your story in a more meaningful way. So here I've added in some music. It's really as quick as, drawing it in, and then you can right click on different elements to be able to edit them in different ways. So here you can add scene transitions. That's another powerful feature to help make sure that there's some consistency and a good look and feel to what you're creating. There's a lot more that you can do, but we want to jump into all those features for the sake of time. I will jump over to video translation now, and if our video is ready, we can also take a look at just what that looks like. So it looks like this one's still, or looks like it's done generating. Let's go ahead and pull this up.
Welcome to today's product demo. I'm excited to see the different types of videos that you all will create and share in our community after this session. Tag me. I want to check them out too.
All right, not my voice, but you can see a quick preview of how easy we make it to kind of create your first video. It typically takes about 7 to 10 times the video length for it to generate. There can be some variance based on processing queue, but it's pretty quick to come up with a video, iterate against it in the AI Studio, and continue to supercharge your creative process with HeyGen's platform. So templates are pretty powerful. Those were just some of the standard templates in our library. You can also create your own. So here we've made a template for personalized videos.
Hi, Jim. This video is made just for you. You can make videos like this on HeyGen, or by using our Zapier or HubSpot integrations for more powerful automations. You can send one-to-one or one-to-many personalized videos at scale.
So we make it really easy to send personalized videos, and you can customize different elements of your video dynamically. So like, hi, Jim here was personally generated for just Jim who's viewing this video, and you can send them out over email using HubSpot or Zapier to connect it to any emailing platform that you have access to. So very, very powerful. Highly recommend you check out our integrations and ecosystem. We make it super simple to really engage your audience in a way that's very meaningful to you. Now, I wanted to spend just a moment talking about video translation. So the other aspect of creating a video can be translating a video. So you can drop in a YouTube URL or upload a file. We make it very fast to get started. We'll let HeyGen auto-detect the language, but let's say I want to put this into Portuguese. We can choose between Brazil or Portugal dialects. Here I'll take Brazil. We have an ability to generate a proofread, to review and edit, or if you want HeyGen to translate it, you can just hit translate. We have some more advanced functionality here as well to really enable captions, enhance the voice, remove background sound. So we have other improvements that we can generate. And then really it's as simple as that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit review and edit here to generate a proofread, but we'll jump into one that I've already created. So this was one that I created a little bit earlier. It takes a few moments to generate a proofread, but you'll see when you get into the proofread studio, you will have different components of your script highlighted in red that might not match up to a scene duration when they're translated. So here, for example, Stanford University to Universidad Stanford, the script might be too long for the scene. There's a couple of different ways to adjust this. You can make this shorter or longer. So I can say Uni Stanford, now it might be too short. And I can add some space basically and make it just right. That's one way that you can kind of quickly preview and get started. So when you're here, you can see a couple of different things that I think are pretty powerful. One is you can see the original video.
Screens, and join me in welcoming Reed Hastings.
So there we go. That's the opening remarks from Stanford's keynote. But let's say I want to hear a preview of what this sounds like in Portuguese.
Neste fim de semana. Agora que já resolvemos o assunto importante, vamos falar pouco sobre como o mundo muda.
So you can hear exactly how he'll sound. This is basically cloning his voice, translating it. If something is off in the translation, we allow you to make edits here. For our enterprise customers, we also have a proofread marketplace, so you'd be able to invite proofreaders, but you can kind of get started for testing this out on even our team plan. So we make this really simple for brands and companies and individuals who are just looking to reach new audiences and translate content that they've already created or are about to produce. So again, just like in the AI Studio, the lip sync won't render fully until we actually hit generate result, but this gives you a very powerful way to kind of quickly transform your content to reach new audiences and new markets. And the other thing that is nice about Proofread is we'll also have different versions automatically saved for you. So if there's an issue or an error, you can always go back to a previous version. We make it very easy to do just that. And if you're collaborating with other folks in your team, we also make it very easy to leave them comments. So like here, I'll just leave a comment to myself, check this out. That'll send me a notification, and I can, click the link to the email notification to jump right into the HeyGen platform and then find this specific comment to resolve this if I'm collaborating with another team member. The other thing that I'll call out very quickly is where we had brand kit that was more about logos and about visuals and colors in the AI Studio. The brand glossary is actually pretty powerful for HeyGen to maintain consistency as you're generating your content at scale. So what we can do is rewrite this script with our brand glossary. And for the brand glossary, I'll actually jump in to show you what that looks like here. The brand glossary lets you control how different things are pronounced. You can basically force translations of certain words. So like, for example, if I want HeyGen to always sound a specific way, I'm able to make sure that it always gets translated according to, my specifications. So here are just a couple of examples. So like Trivago, if we want it to be pronounced this way, regardless of what language it's in, HeyGen really lets you map this up, and you can even upload a CSV if you've already generated something like this. So this is for pronunciations, and really for translations, you can do the same thing to translate certain things in a similar way. So a few examples, you may not want to translate SOC 2, C2PA, GDPR, things that are, common, more colloquial terms. So just a few insights into how to use different areas of our platform to really scale your content creation needs. Finally, I'll spend a moment on our lab section, but I wanted to also cover we have a library of integrations, and we're looking to build more and always bringing on more ecosystem partners. So I encourage you to check this out to see how you can supercharge your video creation based on what you're trying to do here. And finally, I wanted to talk just a moment about our labs products. So we'll talk a little bit about interactive avatar, and then I'll take any questions that are in the chat. So interactive avatar is slightly different from the rest of the platform in that it's taking a video avatar and really allowing you to chat with it or have a conversation. So, if I wanted to start a session, these are all connected to a knowledge base, and you can see some of the example ones that we've created here. They'll have the different inputs, the prompts. This is more of a technical product. So really developers are, downloading the API or downloading the SDK or the GitHub demo, checking out our API documentation. There's different ways to kind of embed this on website experiences or share this. And we have a lot of customers using this in incredible ways to really supercharge how they create more engaging experiences for their audiences. But really, it's as simple as having an experience like this, and you can chat with it or talk to it. Here, I'm going to choose.
Hi, I'm June from HeyGen's HR team through visual storytelling. I'm excited to hear about your technical journey and what drives your passion for joining our innovative engineering. Hi, thank you for connecting with us. I'm June from HeyGen's HR team. To get us started, could you please tell me a little about your technical background? For example, what technologies are... Thank you for letting me know.
So very, very powerful to get started. You can start with chat. You can have a conversation with it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time there because I want to make sure we leave time for questions, but that's a very quick overview of HeyGen's video platform. So I'll kind of quickly pause there, but we have a ton more use cases that you can explore at heygen.com. You can see some of the customer stories that we have with some incredible logos like OpenAI, HubSpot, Klarna, Ogilvy, Shopify, Komatsu, and some of the different ways that folks are using the platform. But with that, I want to jump over to any questions. So Laura asks, how can you add music across the entire video, not each clip? So Laura, once you drop the music into a scene, you can just stretch it out on the timeline across the whole video, and it'll basically cover your whole scene. So if the video or the music you select is too short, it'll end up looping. So that's the one thing to kind of be aware of. But it's really as simple as what I just demonstrated earlier to kind of drop one in or upload your own music if you want to customize it and don't find one that you really enjoy in our library. So hope that answers your question, but happy to clarify if that's not clear. So I'm seeing another question with we need a presentation besides the AI avatar and AI voice, integrated presentation. Uh, Jatin, I don't know if I fully understand your question, but if you want more than just kind of a demo to see a bit more examples of how folks are leveraging the platform, I would encourage you to kind of go to heygen.com, check out our customer stories. We'll have kind of example videos that have been produced by different brands. You can see one produced by Publicis here to send out personalized videos to all their employees. So there's examples like that we cover across our customer base. We'll have some from Ogilvy as well. So there's different ways that brands, agencies are using HeyGen to really supercharge their storytelling. Let me know if that doesn't answer your question. I'm not sure I quite understood that. Next question I'm seeing is, does not look normal. So Llama says, Avatar 4, the facial features and talking does not look normal. You're able to actually kind of control how expressive it is. So Llama, if you remember, I toggled on that expressiveness. You can actually experiment with a couple of different prompts in terms of the types of motion you're adding to reduce how expressive it is, or toggle that off and try generating it again, and it should come out a little bit more stable. So Barry has a question. You have to edit each avatar image for each scene, or can you do an update and have avatars change clothes or looks? I believe that is going to be possible very soon, Barry. I think the AI editor is about to support those sort of broad changes, but I don't believe it does that right now. I can follow up with you in our community if you want to drop me a comment there, but I believe that's still work in progress right now. You would have to kind of go through and change them, or you can kind of copy and paste it to each of the scenes. But those are being addressed shortly. The next question is, will this training be posted later on YouTube to go through again? Llama, yes, we'll actually have this. You can check out a lot of our previous trainings and materials. I'll actually kind of give a shout to community.heygen.com. When you come here, you'll find different events, resources. I would say, there's trainings like this one that will be available as past events, and we'll have links to recordings available there. So for example, if you missed our session with Steve from Miro covering how their learning and development team is using HeyGen to really manage changes and scale their educational needs for a global organization, we make it very simple to go and catch the replay very quickly from our community site. So really a lot of great resources here. But the other thing I'll call out, because this was a quick demo and an overview, if you navigate to our resources, we have a lot more covered in HeyGen Academy, both going in depth into the AI studio and editing, as well as some of the different features. So really encourage everyone to spend some time here. It's a good way to go really deep and uncover questions that you might have about the platform. We make it really simple to kind of get started. So I think maybe one of the two final questions I used to use your competitors. This is the only way to get two avatars in the same video. Renee, there's more coming soon on getting two avatars in a video. I don't want to spoil the fun, but I think the team is aware that customers and users are interested in that capability. And I don't want to make any promises, but I'll say stay tuned, subscribe in our community, but we'll have some exciting announcements coming soon. For now, what a lot of folks do to get around that is, they're kind of using HeyGen to produce the video that they want or the scene that they want, sometimes stitching it together in Premiere Pro or their other editing suite. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do with it, where it fits into that full editing experience. But I hope that answer is helpful. And then final question, I think the video could be generated in HeyGen with text, and for each client, the presentation numbers, chart numbers would change. Yes, Jatin, that's exactly correct. So just like what I was demoing earlier with the personalized video, that's also done through the API or through the HubSpot integration. So you can have a script that's customizable with different variables. In that demo, I was just personalizing the name, but you can also personalize and add other knowledge to the script that makes it more meaningful. So, a goal of mine is to do personalized QBR type presentations for some of our customers where we can give them, very personalizable consumption stats, talk about the values of what other similar customers are seeing that they might not be doing, but we make it really easy to kind of scale how you want to engage your audience. You just have to spend some time maybe, getting that script right and getting it to a good place. But then from there, it's really conducive to automating and scaling with our API. So really, really powerful to get started. We didn't cover a lot of the other API use cases, but if you're a technical builder, would encourage you to join our API community or join our API office hours to spend some more time about what else is possible. But wanted to thank everyone again for joining. I think I've covered most of the questions, but just double checking here really fast to see if there's any that I missed. And PDF checklist to HeyGen to use it to create a script and avatar video. Final question from Barry. Yes, absolutely. So, a lot of folks I've found, and myself included, it's a lot easier for me to create a script or a PowerPoint, basically. When you're creating a video, we give you a couple options right here. So you can upload a PowerPoint or PDF, and you can auto-generate a script from the scenes. Just note that it has to be 20 slides or fewer right now. Encourage you to check this out. There's also the PDF to video beta, which will actually take the PDF content and create a couple of different scenes and animations and a draft for you to get started. If you're uploading a PowerPoint like the one we presented today, you just drop it in, select auto generate, and then you hold tight while it gets ready. But I think I have an example that I already had ready to go. But once it generates, it'll look a little bit like this. I think this is the one. Oh, not this. So this was where I didn't auto-generate the script, but if you were to auto-generate the script, it will basically have all the scenes context built out. So here's another quick example. You can either choose to not auto-generate a script, but if you do auto-generate a script, it'll give you a starting point, and we're basically using LLMs to abstract the context from the slides to create stories for each of your scenes. So very, very powerful for getting started. And I think this was, or maybe it's not the final one, but an example of what that looks like is probably, this video demo.
Visual storytelling is now more accessible than ever, empowering individuals and businesses to convey messages effectively.
So this one I actually generated from a PowerPoint. You can see it's the exact same presentation we walked through today, and I didn't actually make any edits to it. But if you wanted to, you can edit as new, you can create drafts, but we make it very quick to get started and do exactly that. So I hope that answers your question. This is great if you already have training decks and content, want to get a jump start on building out your video library. You can use this to create drafts, upload your training materials, if you will, into those scenes where they're relevant, and really get fine-grained control as you try to scale up your content creation needs. With that, I know we're a few minutes over time, but I wanted to thank everyone again today for joining and sharing some of the different ways that you're looking to use HeyGen. This was always helpful context. Join us in our community and hope to see you at some upcoming events and programming.